Welcome to a brand new season of Motorhead Garage. It's going to be great, and you know how I know? Well, we've got this 1969 Chevelle kicking things off. It looks great, and it performs even better thanks to our first guest. So do not go anywhere, because 2021 is going to be awesome.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We want to thank them for joining in this season, and we want to thank PFI for coming in. That's Performance Fuel Injection. And Kevin, what do you do at PFI Systems that's going to help me out with my car?
Basically, we're taking a carbureted vehicle, carbureted engine, and changing it to throttle body injection.
It's just that simple. Now, are you just dealing with classics?
No, we do off-road vehicles, boats, Jeeps. The other day, I did a fork truck.
And it's easy to do, I understand. It comes in a kit.
Correct.
What comes with that kit?
Well, we try to send a complete kit, so you have to buy very little. There are a few add-ons, but basically, the complete kit, you're going to get a wiring harness, you get a new distributor. The throttle bodies are remanufactured. We do them in-house. We clean the injectors.
I've seen photos of the dirty ones.
Oh.
This is the end result.
Yeah, they come in really bad.
And they come out looking great.
Yes, yep. We steam clean them, we put them in an ultrasonic cleaner, we take the shafts out, we rebuild them all new parts are put in it. The regulator, the sensors on here, the injectors are flow tested, so we make sure that the injectors that we're putting in here are flow matched, so you're not getting an imbalance in fuel.
Fantastic. Now what if I already have a wiring harness that I love, and I love the way everything's hidden? I have to add this now?
This runs your engine only.
Okay.
So like if you have a separate wiring harness, there's no splicing into it. There's 3 wires that you're going to hook up. You got 12-volt ignition, 12-volt battery, and a ground. So basically, if you had one on the floor, you could start the engine right there.
Very cool. How easy is this to access when I want to make changes or check to see if my tune-up's good?
We have an OBD port. It's OBD1. A lot of my customers might be older. They'll have the old snap-on brick. Very easy. We still use that in our shop today. And we can read live data what the engine's doing.
And if I want newer technology, if I don't have that brick, you have another device we can use, right?
Correct. There's a company out of Florida, 1320 Electronics. They make a Bluetooth. So basically, you could have the Bluetooth part in your car, and you could be under the hood, and you could be watching it on your Android tablet or your Android phone. Now there's a little app that you have to pay for. But we actually wire every one of our harnesses for that Bluetooth.
Let's go back to the fundamentals now. Why would I want to take a carbureted engine and turn it into a fuel-injected one?
Well, number one is cold starts. You remember when you used to have to pump the gas, pull the choke, it starts, stalls, and then you're pounding on the steering wheel.
It's like you know me.
But it's just like like a new car. You get in it, you turn the key, it fires up. Another pro, it prolongs your engine life. You remember years ago, at 100,000 miles, your car was junk? That's because fuel is just dumping in with the carburetor. Now we're metering the fuel. It's going to prolong, it's going to make your engine last longer.
It's burning more efficiently.
Yes, yep. And we're striving towards that 14.7 to 1 air-fuel ratio.
And a nice side effect from all this, better fuel economy.
Better fuel economy, better performance, and it's better for the environment.
And the kit makes it easy, but it also makes it affordable. I've seen a lot of others out there that are astronomical.
Yes. The complete kit is less than $1,000.
No kidding.
Yes. So the budget-minded person can afford this.
What about the other companies?
The other companies, there's an add-on for everything. You got to add a fuel pump, you got to add a distributor. We try to make this complete kit so you're not running to the parts store and getting a bunch of parts.
How long does it take to install one of these?
About 8 hours. I always tell people, the weekend.
And what if I have a problem while I'm doing it? Can I call?
Yeah, you'll talk to me. You don't have to go through all the press 1 for this and 2 for that.
Great, so we get somebody right here in the U.S. and you're available all the time. What happens if down the road something goes wrong with one of these parts?
Standard Motor Products, AC Delco, you can find these parts at any part store.
And you back up your product?
Yes.
If there's an issue down the road?
Yes. A lot of guys buy this kit and may not put it on for a year. You know what? Give me a call and tell me when you're putting it on. It's a year warranty. I've warrantied stuff out that's been past a year.
Now, where can they find you on the web?
They can find us at pfisys.com.
All you got to do is make a few clicks, find out what they can do for your classic car or your hot rod. We've got a whole lot more coming up here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so do not go away.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. S&W Race Cars, builder of championship-winning race cars, chassis kits, and components since 1959. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, here on the show, we love UTVs, and this is a great-looking side-by-side from Power Sports of America. Andy, what did you bring for show and tell?
We brought a 2021 Polaris RZR XP 1000.
And it's not just stock. You guys have dressed it up quite a bit. So tell me what you've done here, starting on the front end.
We added a color-matched front bumper from Polaris. We also added the accent lighting and the 4,500-pound winch.
What sets this apart from some of the others that are out there, or the bull bars that we see a lot?
The bull bars typically don't have the headlight protection on the side, and they don't have the place to mount your fair lead for your winch. And this one will also protect your grill, all your lighting and stuff like that from breaking.
So you can put the lead right through here, through this hole if you want to do that.
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent. So let's talk about the winch.
It's a 4,500-pound synthetic rope winch from Copeland. This machine weighs about 1,700 pounds, and a 4,500-pound rating is perfect to pull it out in even the messiest of situations.
Excellent. And the accent lighting is something you guys do as well.
It's a separate accessory from Polaris. It's kind of just something to make you a little brighter, a little bling going with it.
And other colors available?
Yes, sir. You can actually change out the bulbs and stuff like that. Polaris isn't the one who makes the different colors, but there are companies out there you can change it to match your machine.
The tires are an upgrade as well.
These are a 30-10-15 M1 Evil by AMS tire, and they're sitting on a 15-inch beadlock wheel, which keep your tire from coming off the wheel on the trail, and it makes for a little wider stance because they do have more of an offset than the factory wheels do.
And you find a huge performance difference when you're on the trail with these?
It's a lot better for rocks, hard pack. They are a better tread, so some of the factory stuff does kind of tend to get generic, and the tread will chunk out real bad and stuff like that, being mass produced like they are.
And the roll cage here helps beef up the safety factor on this.
This cage is actually by Pro Armor. It all comes in a kit with the roof. It's actually chromoly, so if you do roll it over, it's not going to crush like a factory cage does. And we added the windshield and the back panel from Rad Accessories.
Now the windshield is really cool. How does this actually connect into the roll cage?
There's actually quick latches on each side, and it's literally a 30-second change out. You can just flip it right back on.
And how is this as far as scratches and damage?
It's actually double hard coated, so it's got a double hard coat on this side, a double hard coat on this side, and any breaking, whether it be this or the latches, Rad Accessories actually honors a lifetime warranty on that stuff.
Another thing that jumps out to me on this vehicle, the doors. I've seen a lot of stock doors. They're just a little sliver and don't offer a whole lot of protection, and they don't keep you real dry or clean. You guys have taken care of that problem.
Yes, sir. These are actually powder coated to match Pro Armor doors. They're aluminum, so any brush, anything that might be coming up, it'll protect you from that, and it will also keep you clean.
And you've had some incidents on the trail where you could have used this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I've been riding and had limbs come up while I'm sitting in the seat, and they'll get you good if you're not careful.
And that's something you really wouldn't think about until you've had that experience.
Absolutely. A lot of people buying their UTV for the first time don't realize what all they need until they get out on the trail, and then at that point they're calling back, hey, can we get some doors? We need this or we need that. And that's where we come into play, is to help people out and accessorize them for the trail properly.
I think one thing I hear from a lot of UTV owners, people don't think about, are talking about the tree kickers. If you only had one thing, that's what you want to add.
Yes.
And tell me about yours.
These are actually Polaris tree kickers. They make two different styles. They make a tree kicker and a rock slider. A rock slider would be flush up against, maybe for you guys out here, where you're crawling over rocks, protecting the underneath and the side.
Yeah, here in Tennessee.
Yes, sir. These are a lot less expensive, though, than buying this whole rear cap. When you're going around a tree and you catch it between the wheel and the machine, it will rip it off.
Now, looking at the interior there, I love the seats on this. I love how you've upfitted this UTV. Tell me about those seats.
These seats are made by Pro Armor, and they're actually color matched also. You can tell by the different textures and the piping. And they also have a lot more bolstering on the sides, which keeps you in your seat better. And it requires a 4-point harness, which if you were to get in an accident, it's definitely going to keep you in and work together with the cage to keep you nice and safe.
And then onto the rear, talking about the rear bumper, that's something people don't often think of either.
Oh, yes, sir. Rear bumper's handy if you're out riding, backing up in the woods. You can't always see. We do add a lot of lighting from times. People want to turn in a reverse light, but if you're backing up and you hit a tree, that's a lot cheaper than buying the whole rear fascia, all the tail lights, and it'll save you a lot of money.
Well, what can I actually buy at Power Sports of America?
At Power Sports of America, we carry a full lineup of Polaris and Can-Am off-road machines. Whether you want to buy a stock machine or you want to see one of our experienced salesmen, they can accessorize it to fit your needs.
You can find the UTV of your dreams. Find them at powersportsofamerica.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings after these messages.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
A special thanks to our friends at NHOU Protective Coatings for coming on board here at Motorhead Garage. Now, when it comes to performance, you got a car like this and you want to add a little oomph to it. Sometimes you have to give up a little form to get that function, and the car ends up not looking so great. But what if I told you you could have both form and function in a performance part? Well, that's where you come in at Velocitech Design. Stan, what did you bring for show and tell?
I brought our Velocitech Big Mouth Ram Air intakes. These intakes are a combination of both form and function. My background in aerospace engineering, I applied all our flow path design techniques to try and maximize performance from our Ram Air intakes, and at the same time you can see the intakes, choose your color, choose your shape, interchange the shape because the flares are removable, and add an aggressive touch to your car.
So Ram Air's been around for a long time, and the principles are tried and true. How did you take those principles and how did you improve upon them?
Well, what we did was we took those principles and we added a form to them that makes it unique to Velocitech. When people see that aggressive flare, what we call flared opening in the grille, they automatically know that it's a Velocitech product, and they know that that car means business. Ram Air is something that's very popular amongst high-performance cars. It's used in airplanes. It's something that is not new. However, the visual and the artistic form is something we wanted to add to this product because it is the first thing you see when you look at the car. Your eyes just go right to that Ram Air intake, and you just know that's a Velocitech Ram Air.
How does Ram Air work?
If you're driving in a car and you stick your hand out the window, you feel some pressure on your hand. It pushes your hand back. That pressure is force over an area. The Ram Air does the exact same thing. The opening is the area, and the force is the car moving through the air. What happens is the engine sees that force as an increase in ambient pressure, and it'll compensate by saying, oh, I don't have to work as hard. Ram Air is a great way to increase performance, and in this case, look good.
Now, how much horsepower are we talking? How much do you pick up?
So that depends on how fast the car is going, and it also depends on the starting horsepower of the engine. So bigger engines are obviously going to pick up more horsepower. Smaller engines will pick up less horsepower. However, it is a percentage, and that depends on the vehicle speed. So from the testing we've done, about 1 to 2% of the original horsepower of the engine. Supporting mods such as an engine tune, an exhaust, an intake, or other modifications to the engine, you'll pick up maybe 2.5–3% more horsepower just because induction components synergize very well with each other, and especially when you have an increase in inlet pressure. And our Ram Air intakes are not just functional in that sense, but they are very aggressive looking, form and function combined.
And let's talk about that form now. Here you've got a lot of different colors and a lot of different shapes. How are they different?
We right now serve 30 different platforms, and we said, what are the shapes that people could just grab from our website and say, what would match with my grille? What would make it look aggressive? So we have a trapezoidal shape, we have an asymmetrical hexagonal shape, we have a symmetric octagonal shape, and we have our standard rectangular with rounded edges shape, which is the most popular. It is very subtle but yet aggressive. And so these are the different stylized inlets that people recognize as Velocitech. They automatically know it's us because we become quite popular in social media followings and then on the aftermarket.
And where are your pieces designed and built?
We design and manufacture everything right here in the United States. We actually 3D print all of our products. We've developed our own 3D printing technology. These products are not injection molded in China. They're not injection molded anywhere else. They are 3D printed right here. They are designed right here, and they're shipped from the United States.
What kind of installation process are we talking about?
Most of the time, you're going to want to go online, download the instruction manual first. We spend a lot of time making sure that the installation process is as easy and as smooth as possible because we really pride ourselves in design. The name of the company, Velocitech Engineering, is our core intent. However, Velocitech Design is the website. And we pride ourselves in proper design of these components. And proper design means a person can install this part easily. It shouldn't be a pain, it shouldn't be a hassle.
I've seen you guys all over the place. You're exploding. Where'd you come from?
Like all businesses that are good, we started in a bedroom. I started in a little 60 square foot bedroom with one 3D printer and a dream. And now we have a 3,000 square foot facility with 32 3D printers and full staff. And we're proud to say everything's made in the US.
These flared openings are unique to Velocitech design. I haven't seen them anywhere else, and we bet you they have one for your vehicle because they make them for over 30 of them. Check them out at velocitechdesign.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Rod and Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. And by AP Laser, leading the way.
You are trucking along with Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, this may look like a regular work truck, but it is not. It's actually a test bed for a lot of high performance parts, and it comes to us courtesy of AFP. Now, tell me, Richard, how did your story in performance parts get started?
I was at a truck meet, and really common for racing four-wheel drive trucks is you put limiting straps on the front end to keep it from picking up. And so I did that, and I was riding with a friend of mine, and he told me I had the worst riding truck he's ever been in. And so I took that to heart, so as soon as I got back home, I started working on a kit that I could do in my garage to bolt on a set of coilover shocks to help with the ride, but still maintain the performance that I needed.
So that evolved into these kits, which are essentially just bolt-on.
Right, so they're all laser cut, 3/8 or 1/4 inch steel. There's no welding required. They allow you to bolt on a set of coilovers from the 99 to 2018 GM trucks, which include the Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Suburbans, Escalades from 99 and up.
And what are some of the advantages of going to the coilover system?
One, it's a better shock, and so typically adjustable, so you can make it as firm or as soft as you like. Second thing is the springs are very easy to change, so if you want a really firm ride for handling or a really soft ride for drag performance, it's really easy to do and fully customizable.
Another area that's really your bread and butter here are these motor mounts. Now, tell me what comes stock as far as motor mounts go on these trucks.
So the stock motor mounts are usually made of rubber, especially in the 07 to 13 trucks. It's a rubber shell filled with fluid. But the problem is those wear out very quickly, and it's a very high replacement item. And so I make a replacement for that, which would be my poly motor mounts, and also make a solid version for that. And I have a lifetime warranty on these, lifetime guarantee. I've actually never had one fail, all the way up to 1,500 horsepower trucks.
How often are folks changing motor mounts on trucks?
I've had stories from customers that they say they change them every couple months, and as soon as guys are finished replacing their 4th, 5th, or 6th set of motor mounts, they finally hit the button and say, I want yours, because I know I'll never have to replace them.
Now, what's the difference between the poly mount and the solid mount there?
So the poly mounts ride on a hard poly bushing like this with the center tubing, whereas the solid mount is just that. It's a solid chunk of steel, which there's absolutely nothing here to ever break or wear out. But both of them are very strong. I've never had any version of my mounts break. And usually I recommend the poly mounts for street-driven vehicles. They're a little bit more forgiving, a little bit easier to install. But if you're a hardcore racer and you have hard-mounted turbos, for instance, you'll probably want to go with the solid mount to keep your exhaust pipes from flexing.
What kind of vibration am I going to feel with the poly mounts?
Very minimal. I know poly mounts have sort of a bad reputation, but the only time you might be able to tell is a cold start at idle. Once it warms up or once you're driving around, it feels just like factory.
Cool. And you've got the black here and, of course, the raw one here. What are my color options from you?
Typically, the options are either I can paint it black. These are steel, so if they're not painted or powder coated, they will rust. If you want to do powder coating or painting yourself, I'm glad to ship it to you raw. I also have powder coating capabilities if you want a custom color that I can do as well.
Speaking of custom here, this is a great looking aluminum piece. Now tell me what I am looking at here.
So this is a bracket for the TrueCool 40,000 pound transmission cooler that's really popular in these trucks. This is an easy bracket to mount on the factory hood support that centers up the bracket, and it just makes it look better, makes it easy.
Another great looking aluminum piece right here. Looks familiar. Instrument cluster there.
So this is a dash bezel piece specifically for the 99 to 06 trucks. I have 2 large gauges with 4 small ones cut here, but I also make a version you can use the new Holley digital dash, and any type of design you want I can cut. I even made one that a guy wanted just plain switches all the way across. Didn't want any gauges, he just wanted switches.
So you can do a custom job there. And another place where you do some great custom work here is on your seat mounts.
Absolutely. So when I was first building this truck, I wanted to put nicer seats in there because the stock ones were wore out, but there wasn't an easy way to do that, and so I came up with some aftermarket mounts like this, where it's easy to bolt in a lot of the popular brand seats like Corbeau, Brom, Sparco, and really I can make anything fit. Kirky's work also, really popular.
Now the seat mounts look great, but what are some of the other advantages besides that?
So when you get far enough into racing where you start to need a 4 or 5 point racing harness, you want a good, safe way to install that. And what most guys have done before is they will go to Home Depot, get some angle iron, weld it to their stock seat brackets, but that ends up being very heavy and not necessarily the safest thing to do. So my seat brackets take care of all that for you. They're usually lighter than the homemade version, plus I can customize the side to look like whatever design you want. Any text, any design, I can usually make it work. And it also has very secure mounting points for a racing harness.
Well, if you're building one of these trucks from 1999 and up, Atomic FP is sure to have something for you. Well, that music indicates that we are out of time once again here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. But do not fear, we'll be back next week here at the same time, only on Motor Trend. From our entire crew, we will see you